Welcome back to the show, everyone. The most difficult aspect of interviewing our next guest is getting he and Miss Forbes to be quiet so that we can introduce him.
Can you tolerate this, Mr. Terry David Mulligan? How are you?
I'm very well, thank you so much.
Just ignore the annoying thing next to me.
Just a comment.
What?
It's as nice as you've ever looked. That is a great, you're a
Thank you.
Unbelievably good looking
Thank
man.
you. And I want to compliment,
in the right light.
I want to compliment you on your pants.
Nice pants.
Mulligan. Nice pants.
Thanks for joining us.
When was the last time?
They're linen. They're supposed to be wrinkled.
When was the last time you wore those pants, my friend?
A month ago.
And how long have they been in your luggage?
A month.
Okay, Terry, we have to get to the nitty-gritty here because you've been all over the news because you discovered an just archaic Canadian law about taking alcohol across provincial borders.
It's called the Importation of Intoxicating Liquors Act of 1928, right?
Yeah.
Prohibition. It was meant to control prohibition and illegal substances and liquor. And so here we are in 2011, and it's still there. It's still there because it's the cash flow.
So is that why we don't see wine from other provinces in British Columbia?
Yeah, exactly. See Ontario wines.
It's a total pain in the ass to actually be an Ontario wine and come to the Playhouse, which is why, for 2 or 3 years running, the only one who wanted to play that game was Mike Weir Wines. There's another 200 wineries or 300 wineries back there. And we never see them.
So when they bring their wines, or in BC with some of our amazing wineries, when we export them, it sounds stupid to even say. When we export them to another province, do they pay duty on that?
They pay double duty. We mark our wine here 123% in British Columbia.
Really?
123%, and they still want more. But this isn't so much about that. It's about Canadians breaking the law each and every day, even as we sit here and speak. So if you somebody is leaving the Okanagan and driving across that border to wherever they're going, and they're taking Okanagan wines with them.
One bottle of wine illegal?
One bottle of wine is and the law says if you're charged and convicted 3 times, you go to jail for 6 months.
We have a 3-strike law for vino?
Yeah.
For vino.
What?
Okay, so this was put in place because they wanted to control the flow of alcohol during Prohibition. Now it's a cash grab. How does this actually affect wineries when it comes to it now in BC?
Let's say you come from Alberta and you're doing Urban Rush Calgary, and you come into the Okanagan and you find the wines that you want to taste and buy. You spend maybe 5 days in the Okanagan, spending pretty good dough, right? Yeah. You then say to the winery, I'd like to take this case and I'd like to, we're heading for the coast, would you ship it back to my house and I'll get it when I get home? No, we can't do that. How about FedEx? No, we can't do that. And you can't take it back. What they want you to do is find your closest liquor control office and fill out the forms, and maybe in 6 months you'll get your wine.
So you can't even take it in your car?
You can't even take it in your car. And those of you out there who have done it by the millions, have all broken this law.
Now, Terry David Mulligan, for those who don't know about your past, you used to be a member of the RCMP, and now you are going to be doing something on Friday, which is a little bit risque, and it's why you've been
suggesting?
That you might be arrested for what you do, but I think it's great that you've drawn attention to this law. What are you doing on Friday? You can't arrest him, Eckford. Stop dreaming.
I think if you brought that suit, you could play my lawyer.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
My mouthpiece.
Mr. Mulligan.
On Friday?
Friday, at high noon, BC time, 12 noon. Friday the 13th, I'll be at the BC-Alberta border. And given social media these days, I don't know if I'm just me and Josie, my dog, or if it's going to be me, Josie, and
a whole bunch of people.
And a gaggle of people.
Well, I think people should grab a bottle of wine and go across the border with you.
But I'm sorry, I can't comment to that.
I am suggesting that maybe if you had more people crossing
Mulligan
the border
doesn't want to encourage people to break the law.
No, he doesn't, but I'm saying it would be a good idea.
Fiona wants to encourage people to break the law. How much of an effect does this have on I mean, because we're in BC, on the BC wine industry, especially when it comes to smaller,
the little guys, all the little wineries. Actually, it's the little wineries that we love to chase and look for. And you find a winery and you make it your own, and nobody else knows about it, or you think nobody else. That's the part of the joy of wine, and then pouring it for your friends and family. But the fact remains is those small wineries cannot compete, and they cannot send their wines to Ontario or even Alberta, for that matter, simply because of the hoops that they're made to jump through.
Do they do this in other countries? Do they do this in France? Do they have the same thing?
If we did this in France, you would get charged by taking wine from Burgundy to Bordeaux. You would get charged.
So I mean, when you equate it like that, right? It is insanity. It makes no sense.
Not only is it embarrassing, it's unconstitutional. This law is unconstitutional and should be turfed in some form. It can be amended. Nobody wants to take the cash flow away from these folks. I'm just saying to them, you cannot ask Canadians to break the law by taking their own wine from province to province. Yeah. Also, it is your wine. You did pay for it.
Yeah.
It's your property. What's wrong with that?
Okay, Mulligan,
I'm sorry.
Hypothetically.
Are you angry, Terry?
He just needs a glass of wine. So hypothetically, if you do get arrested.
Don't say that. Don't even suggest that.
But hypothetically, if you don't get arrested and they ignore the fact that you and perhaps other people are going across the border.
Good point, young lady.
What point? My dad was a lawyer. What point are you proving with the law?
I'm just then the tip of the iceberg. That's the first step down a long road. However, by doing something, they will have said something. By not doing something, they will have said something. They will state their position one way or another. Yeah. They may take away my wines. I'm hoping that somebody, if we can just keep this as gentlemen, we'll get this.
And gentlewomen.
Yeah, and get this road cleared. Yeah. Let's get on with it.
Why have the wineries not lobbied to change this over time?
You know, if you stand up as a winery and you say something, or you challenge this, subtle economic reprisals come your way. All of a sudden, your bottles disappear from the shelves. They're not a nice bunch.
Well, the Liquor Control Board, having known a few people in this business, it is a bit of a draconian system from top to bottom.
Really?
But it's a lot of power concentrated in a very small number of people, and that's always a bit dangerous.
Exactly, and we can't put a face to them. Yeah. We don't know who they are.
They're not elected.
But we're going to find out.
Oh.
We're going to find out.
Mulligan.
High noon.
Playing the role of Terry David Mulligan's lawyer.
Is Michael Dangerfield.
That's right.
Okay, here's the thing. You're doing this on Friday.
Yeah.
Noon o'clock.
Yeah.
At the Trans-Canada border crossing.
Yeah. Will you make a note of that when you're doing the show? Just say, oh,
yes. We will say a wee prayer for you.
Wow. I just want to point out quickly, though, that high noon in British Columbia is actually at 4:20. Just a small detail in there as your lawyer on record.
I'm not suggesting that anybody do anything illegal, but if you want to bring a bottle in solidarity and cross the border with Mr. Mulligan, we might get rid of some draconian laws.
This is the way that consumers should be able to take control of things. They really should.
I just had a thought.
What?
What do I do with Josie?
Oh, do you want me to take Josie?
Does she come with me?
We'll dog sit. We'll keep Josie.
Let's bring Josie here.
I'm doing this for you, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mulligan.
Thank you. I appreciate it, because as a lover of wine, and especially those small wineries, someone needs to stand up and say that this is wrong.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you. I appreciate it very much. And I'll see you at Kids.
Come on, you're plugging your kids' business.
I'll see you at CrossFit Kitsilano.
There we are.